What was that other smell? That delicious smell. She leaped out of her sleeping bag as Dallas came out of his feet first. Dallas! He was ready for her. I know, I know. Don't start on me, he said. The reason I didn't pack any food was because... Dallas, take a whiff. What do you smell? He sniffed. Trees. I smell trees and... Hey, what's that other smell? Florida inhaled deeply. Either I'm out of my noodle or else that's bacon I smell, Dallas. Bacon. It can't be bacon, Dallas said. It must be something that smells like bacon, and I wish it didn't because it made my stomach wake up, and now my stomach is saying it wants food right now, right this minute. He sniffed the air again. It does smell an awful lot like bacon. Maybe it's some old codger who's living in the woods and he's making his breakfast. And maybe, Florida said, it's some convict who just as soon shoot us as feed us. Why'd you go and say that? Because it might be true. Let's be real quiet. They set off through the trees, slowly, quietly. The smell of frying bacon drew them on. Closer, closer. Out of the brush came a booming, "Hey there!" Dallas and Florida leaped toward each other. Tiller? Dallas said. Is that you, Tiller? Or am I dreaming? Howdy, kids. Didn't mean to scare you. I was just out here getting more kindling for the fire. Follow me. Tiller led them through a clump of bushes, and there on the other side was Sari, seated on a flat gray stone, her hand stretched toward a big black skillet full of bacon. There you are, she said. Morning. Florida leaned toward Dallas. We're dreaming, right? We died in the middle of the night, and now we're dead, and our dead brains are dreaming, right? Sari handed her tongs to Tiller so that he could take over the frying of the bacon. You two are about the smartest kids I ever met, she said, coming up with such a good idea to try out our equipment before we set off on our trips. I don't know why we didn't think of that ourselves. Do you, Tiller? But how'd you know we were gone? And how'd you know where we were? Dallas said. How'd you find us? I couldn't sleep, Sari said, and so I went up to check on you like I do every night. You've been checking on us every night, Florida said. Sari looked sheepish. It's just a mother thing, she said. Kids in the house, I check on them. When I saw you were gone, I figured you must have decided to try out these sleeping bags and stuff. I thought that was the most brilliant idea, so me and Tiller, we decided to join you. But how'd you find us, Florida said. I mean, not that we were hiding or anything, but... Sari has a nose for where kids go, Tiller said. And then, Sari said, when we saw where you were camping, we went back and got some food and the skillet because we knew we'd all be hungry this morning. Ready to eat? Tiller passed around 10 plates, which Sari heaped with eggs and bacon and warm biscuits. Anyone want honey? Sari asked. Accepting a generous spoonful, Dallas said, I suppose we should have told you we were going. Out in the woods, Florida said, to try out our things, like you said. We probably should have told you. No call to do that, Sari said. I can see what you were thinking. You were thinking, let's not disturb Tiller and Sari. Let's just try out this stuff without bothering anybody. Kids ought to have a little choice, that's what I think. They ought to be able to do stuff without someone watching over their shoulders every minute. Florida licked the honey from her fingers. Well, ma'am, that's a mighty interesting way to think. So, Sari said, what's the verdict? Think those sleeping bags work okay? Well, Florida said, we think maybe the sleeping bag should have some sort of thing over the head part. Like what? Tiller asked. Something to keep out the crawly bugs. Ah, Sari said, now that's a brilliant observation. We've got some mosquito netting, and I could sew some of that around the top. Find some way to fasten it so you could open and close it. Tiller waved his hand in the air. You're not going to make it too loopy and fancy, are you? I don't want a bunch of lace or anything around my head. Maybe you won't have anything whatsoever around your head, Sari said. Maybe we'll let the bugs get you. She turned to Dallas and Florida. Anything else you think of while you were trying out the equipment? Yeah, Dallas said. I was thinking we ought to be sure and have enough food, in case we get stuck somewhere or lost or... Yep, Tiller agreed. I can hardly think without food in my stomach. We didn't plan too much about food yet. I'm sure glad you two had the genius idea to make this trial run, Sari added. Ah, Florida said, it was nothing. Okay, I'm going to read the last couple pages on the next video.